2019 Board of Education meeting. Roll call, please.
Mr. Abbott.
Present.
Mr. Bratton.
Present.
Mr. Johnson.
Present.
Mr. Mellis.
Present.
Ms. Parker.
Mr. Bratton is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to the approval of the agenda. There are a couple changes that we need to include on page 3 on the personnel and employment section. Need to remove item number 5. Also on page 3 on the personnel and employment section, we need to update item 7A to 8 p.m. instead of 10 actually shown. There's no further questions on that.
So 6 becomes 5 and 7 becomes...
No, just, we're gonna leave it, we're just gonna strike through that agenda item.
Okay.
Is
I
there any
don't want to
further,
get confused with it.
Yeah.
is there any further, no further questions? Someone like to make a
So move. Second.
motion made by Mr. Johnson, seconded by Mr. Mellis. Roll call, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Mellis.
Yes.
Mr. Bratton.
Yes.
Mr. Abbott.
Yes. Okay, moving on to approval of the minutes from the following meetings. February 11th, 2019, the regularly scheduled meeting. Any corrections or questions on that?
I'd like to include first, I didn't see anything.
I didn't see anything.
Similar changes to the motion? So we'll go ahead and do February.
You want to do both together?
Do both together.
Yeah, do all second voting.
Anyone see any questions or concerns on February 27th? Seeing none, can I get a motion for both meetings?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Johnson, seconded by Mr. Bratton. Roll call, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Bratton.
Yes.
Mr. Mellis.
Yes.
Mr. Abbott.
Yes. Moving on to public participation. Full updates. Mr. Connor.
Yes. President Abbott, first thing I want to do is thank you all for inviting us today, and we want to recognize one of our fabulous students, Matt Stoner. Matt, if you want to stand or come on up here real quick. Matt was just recognized as a National Merit Finalist. He's in the top 1% amongst seniors in the country. And this is based upon his PSAT score from his junior year, as well as his academic record, his community activities, all play a factor in his selection of that National Merit Finalist. I know this is my second year here. Obviously, he's the first one that we've had. Speaking to Superintendent Hahn, you know, there's not many who really walk the halls of Bloom Carroll High School who've been selected as a National Merit Finalist. So this is really a great reflection of our teaching staff, his parents who are here tonight, as well as Matt's hard work. So we just like to congratulate him on all of that, and wanted to recognize him here tonight. So Matt Stone. I did ask Matt briefly to talk about his future a little bit. He has decided on where he's going to school, and Matt, you want to talk about that just real quick?
I do plan on going to the University of South Florida. That's actually where my dad went, so good legacy. I plan to study computer engineering there. I'd probably get a master's degree at some point, and then I do plan on working for NASA, possibly at some point. That would be ideal.
It looks like they're gonna be back in action with the space.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for the recognition.
Bright future.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good.
I'd also want to talk, we have a lot of things going on at Blue Carroll High School, but there are two programs that I want to touch on tonight. And the first one, just briefly, I want to talk about is our Business Casual Fridays that Mrs. Densmore, as well as an intern that we have adopted this year. And what this is we're trying to bring real jobs, real people, and real lives to the folks and our students at Bloom Carroll High School. And I provided you a handout here on what that is, basically allowing our students to see what is out there in the workforce and to make sure that they are college and career ready once they graduate from Bloom Carroll High School. And on the flip side there, you can see some of those guests that we have. Once a month, we have a guest come in from the community, and they speak to our students during lunches. Students can go to the library during their lunch periods and listen and hear what these folks have to say about their careers and real life opportunities that they'll have in front of them. So this has been a great success so far this year. We wanted to start small and just have it once a month. I know some of you guys can probably recognize some of those names on there. One being a former Bloom Carroll graduate, Joey Schmitz. He discussed financial planning back in December. We look forward to seeing Mike Craner and TP Mechanical on March 29th and Fairfield Medical Center on April 26th. So a lot of variety here that our students are able to see and have the opportunity to ask questions and to hear about these different careers out there. That's one program I'd like to share with you. The next program that I'm going to sort of pass this over to Ms. Braille. She's going to talk about a mentor program that we began this year. And it's really, this program's in the hands of the teachers. So I'm going to let her talk about what this program is and how it's run and how many students are impacted and its effects so far that it's had at Bloom Carroll High School.
Okay. So, you have a little summary of the Check and Connect is what we call it, program. And so we have met as a staff in our departments, like our grade level departments, 9th grade, 10th grade, etc. And we put together a list of at-risk students for a variety of reasons. And then Conrad put together the list and basically had staff members sign up for a student or students that they would mentor. If you look at the back of that paper, that's an example of an email that went out in December. So each month an email goes out that looks just like that. It follows that same model. So it has events that we need to pay attention to, like state testing coming up, ACT is happening tomorrow at the high school. Anything that the teachers need to be aware of to talk to their student or students about. It has a little, just like food for thought. It can relate to teachers and the attitude that teachers have towards kids, geared toward more positive. It could be something that they could take away and communicate to the kids. And things that we can ask them each month. So like scheduling is happening. Where is your student with scheduling? Do they know how that system works if they're a freshman? Do we know what kids need to be involved in to graduate? So depending on what level they've signed up for, they have to kind of be aware of different things. So we're trying to get kids to be successful and not just the usual like, oh man, that kid doesn't do work in your class, me neither. Like now we have a system to kind of make someone successful, hopefully. We might not be able to like work magic for everyone, but if we can just get one kid to graduate, or one kid to take the state test seriously, etc. on down the line, then I feel like it's a successful program. So it's kind of made teachers talk more together too. Mrs. Goody, the 9th grade science teacher, I'm 9th grade English. She is a student and she asked me, did he turn in his English paper? That never would have come up before. And then I sent a student to her to work on science fair. That never would have been a mode of communication between us before. So it's opened up that door also. And we continue to meet as grade level, like a department, and just reevaluate where so-and-so, are we making progress? If we are, do we need to take them off the list because they're on the right track and add somebody? So it's like constantly reevaluating the kids and trying to intervene and get them where they need to go and be successful. And if a kid's not doing well in my class, well, can I get them to do well in science? If they're passing nothing, what can they pass? Can it be science? Can it be math? Let's put our attention there. So we're just trying to get the kids that need help the most help that they can get. So I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything.
Is there like peer tutoring?
Well, we have math tutoring all the time, and in terms of the teachers, I'm like 100% sure the teachers have offered us a prep period or something like that for the student that they're mentoring. So we don't have like a period built in per se, but that's just a scheduling issue.
What about students on the other students?
In study hall, we may have that going on. I can't speak for sure about if that's going on. Do you know if we have
I see more of
peer
that,
tutoring?
our high school students traveling to the middle school to help some of those students there, so there are some peer assistants, tutors there. Our students communicate with each other enough, and the teachers have that connection with them through this program by building those relationships to be able to help them or find somebody to help them. This really has been a pretty awesome program. Talking about building relationships and having that culture within a school, this has really done that. Some students, in the past may have slipped through the cracks in terms of all the staff members knowing the deficiencies or the strengths of that student. This program really allows all of our staff members to see the students who may need some assistance in one aspect or another. So it's been really, really successful. I think the key that Mrs. Braille brought up too is students graduate from this mentor program. So if they're being successful and that mentor has helped them enough to guide them throughout academics or behavioral, then we take them off the list and we can add others to this. Last count, we had 49 students who were on this program, and this is all voluntary by our staff, and our staff has really stepped up and done a tremendous job taking on these students. So they do it on their own time, they meet with them on their own time before, after school, during lunch, in the hallway between classes. They've done a tremendous job, and Mrs. Boyle's credit to that as well. So.
I just want to commend, not only you two, but the entire staff at the high school. When we talk about vision in the district and some of our basic principles when we begin, we talk about the importance of relationships and communication and how we have to start there with our parents, with our community, with our students. If we don't get them connected to us and we don't connect to them, then it's going to be difficult to teach them in the classroom. And there are some students that don't need that connection, but there are some that desperately do in order to be successful. So thank you for embracing that and developing that. We talk about, in administrative meetings about trying to sometimes do too much and not do anything well, when we've got to focus on a few priorities. And what I've really noticed at the high school is that college and career readiness, that future-ready mindset, and then also the relationship piece. And I think when you look at your business casual Fridays, when you look at this Check and Connect program, those are two things that are certainly helping to prepare students for their future and give kids a better chance to be successful. So thank you, and keep up the good work with your entire staff.
Thank you guys for your support. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Okay. Moving on to treasurer's recommendations and report.
Thank you. Item 7A, asking for board approval of the February financial statement. Total expense for the month, $9,534,066.31. Of that, a little over $7.4 million with the consortium expenses. Page 14 on the electronic copy begins your executive summary. Excuse me. Not a lot to report on in February. We do start to collect some advances on the first half real estate public utility tax collections. However, the timing of these advances vary significantly from one year to the next, so it's impossible to make a comparison until we get our final settlement in March. So once we're back here in April and we have our March settlement, we'll be able to make a true comparison. Expenditures still running very close to estimates as you look at the SM2 Green report. Current carryover a little over $3 million. Page 21, just real quickly to call your attention to one other aspect of the financials for the month. Now that we are into 2019 with our permanent improvement fund, and on the yellow FinSum report, you do see now that we've gotten $87,000 in worth of advances into that 003 fund. So that's where you'll be able to look to track both the tax revenues coming in and the capital outlay going out within our permanent improvement fund. Any questions on the financial statements or the checks written during the month of February?
Any questions? Can I get a motion for approval of the February financial statement. Motion made by Mr. Bratton. I'll second that. Second by Joe Abbott. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bratton?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Mellis?
Yes.
Mr. Abbott?
Yes.
Item B, approve establishing the following student activity fund, 200-9130 Sunny Day Fund. Page 32 of your electronic copy. In keeping with a lot of the positive programs that we just heard from the high school, we have a proposal from Mrs. Dinsmore and signed off on by Mr. Conrad. 3 activity purposes for the board to approve is raising awareness for Fairfield County teens in foster care, and then using this fund to collect donations and provide them with supplies that they may need. Donation drive will be held, probably should be semi-annually, twice a year, spring and fall. Asking for board approval to establish the student activity fund.
That's a great idea, Mr. Khan. You guys come up with that. That's great.
Mrs. Densmore, I really like staff.
It's a good idea. A lot of people don't realize that foster care and working with those social workers is a real big emotional impact. So definitely do that.
Any further questions regarding that? Seeing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Johnson. Second by Mr. Mills. Roll call, please.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Mellis? Mr. Bratton?
Yes.
Mr. Abbott?
Yes.
Item C, we're very thankful to be able to recognize the following donations to the Bloom Carroll Local School District: Columbus Technical Council, $1,200 to the High School Science Department. We also have an anonymous donation of $400 to support the High School Science Fair, and we will recognize those individuals in that group accordingly.
Motion. Accept the donation. Motion made by Mr. Bratton. I'll second that. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bratton?
Yes.
Mr. Abbott?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
And Mr. Mellis? And finally, this is not an action item, but the board was notified a couple of weeks ago, I believe, directly by the Auditor of State, that the fiscal 2018 audit for Bloom Carroll School District has been completed. I've just included a couple pages in your packet. Certainly, if the board has questions and would like to go through it in more detail, we can do this in a planning session perhaps, or a finance committee meeting. But a clean audit for the district. Page 35 on the electronic copy is the communication from the auditors to the district. I just kind of highlighted the big things that you look through when you get these reports back. No, did not identify any deficiencies in internal controls. The next page, no instances of non-compliance. If you go to page 37, when you start to look at what objectives and tasks that the auditors took on and what were their findings, all financial statement disclosures has been reported. They did note just one misstatement on a financial record. And again, it was GAAP. We operate on a cash basis 364 days out of the year. We operated on accrual basis 1 day a year, June 30th. They deemed that trivial. And the big one is no significant issues discussed with the management. With the audit report and the management letter, there's only one disclosure that they made. So if somebody in the public pulls the report off the Auditor of State's website, it will just contain one recommendation. And again, you look at that financial statement presentation, and this year it was just some reclassifications. Page 40 is the recommendation itself. Had something that was in miscellaneous receipts. They wanted in charges for services. So again, not really misstatements, but reclassifications. So certainly happy with the audit. One thing in here, I'll vent just for a second. If you look at the engagement letter was dated September 25th, 2018. So I'm continuously surprised at the span and the time of the audit that it takes from start to finish. But certainly it's.
They do everybody, right?
They don't. No, the Auditor of State does not audit everyone. They do farm some of them out to independent firms, but they have to release you from that, and they have not released us to this point. As part of our regular audit, the consortium is audited as a separate entity. That consortium audit was released at well, and it actually had no issues. So you do receive an Auditor of State award, which is also in your packet, if there are no issues whatsoever. So the consortium is running well, and those entities are certainly happy with that. So again, we will. The audit was actually released tonight, so we'll get it posted on the web, get the required disclosure on our website, so that it can be viewed by the public if so desired.
Great job, Mr. Bigger.
Was there any big difference between Ghost being the auditor and Favor being the auditor?
Haven't noticed anything to this point. We'll see as he gets longer into his term if there are any subtle differences.
I just remember him not being a real friend of public education when I went to state.
Any further questions for Mr. Bigger? Okay, thank you, Mr. Bigger. Moving on to old business. Seeing there's no old business, we'll move on to superintendent's recommendations and reports. Mr. Hunt.
All right. So 9A, superintendent's reports, just a few things. Just want to thank our maintenance staff, in particular John Pugh, BW, Baumgartner, and Scott Pickering, who is a custodian over here. Scott is, there was a boil alert in the village of Lithopolis last week, and could have presented a much bigger issue for us to have school. Those guys are prepared and willing to do whatever we need them to do without much notice, and they were able to run out and buy hundreds of bottles of water, close to 700 bottles of water over 2 days to make sure every kid had a bottle of water in every classroom in this building in 34th grade. So just want to thank them for their hard work. That was a lot of water to carry up and down the steps and around this building. So, again, they're just willing to do whatever it takes, and I appreciate that. With the design of the K-5 elementary school, as you know, we're in the design development phase, which is the third stage of the design process. That will continue in through May, and then we'll enter the final part, which is the construction document finalization and going out to bid to the subcontractors. But during design development, we have a couple things going on. Just recently, we held some focus group meetings with teachers, special education teachers, related art teachers like library, art, music, phys ed, we're starting to look at the insides of the rooms and what types of materials and layout in terms of where whiteboards go, interactive panels, teachers' desks, workstations, things like that. So we held focus group meetings on February 25th, and that is coming along nicely. Right now, our architects are starting to really work on the details. And then we have a community forum on, which is the third one. We've held one there in each phase. We have a third community forum for the design development stage on March 27th at 6 p.m. in the middle school. Moving on to some academic things coming up. We have the spring state testing. It'll be in March and April. The testing will be open up. The high school has the ACT, I think, tomorrow that all juniors are required to take, unless their IEP exempts them. But that'll be taking place tomorrow, and then we have the end of course exams coming up at the high school in April, and we also have the state test with grades 3 through 12 in reading, math, and then there's a couple grade levels that have science and social studies. We got the results back from the third grade reading guarantee. There's alternative assessments given to the kids to help them, to give them more opportunities to reach that promotion score that is needed, and we're allowed to give alternative assessments to the state test, which is done in the fall. We are down to about 6 students in third grade still needing to pass, but there are several more opportunities. There will be a spring state test. There will be a spring math assessment. There will be a summer program as well for the third grade students, and that will involve another opportunity to take the math measurement of academic progress assessment, the Iowa assessment in the summertime, and also the state test in the summertime. So we're a little bit better shape this year than we have been in past years, but we continue to whittle that down. Just want to thank those that attended the all-county board dinner. We were updated on some legislative issues by Tom Ash from VASA, and also the state budget not predictions, but discussion really about some of the state budget items that could be coming out fairly soon. Hopefully we will benefit from that as a growing district. And then just want to draw your attention in your packet, there's an invitation to the National Honor Society induction ceremony. That is on March 19th, it's a Tuesday night at 6:30 at the middle school auditorium. So Mr. Conrad and the advisors with National Honor Society will be leading that ceremony, and you're all welcome to attend. I don't think you have to RSVP, but there's a quick reception after.
I'll be there.
So please feel free to attend. I think that's it for the update. So moving on to 9, any questions about any of those items that I just brought up?
I do have a question, and just, you haven't mentioned it, but we have the planning session next week on the 20th, over the 20th.
We're still planning on that, yes, we're still planning on
So,
it.
what I was wondering, what exactly will we be talking about?
At the last planning session, we brought the wish list to you of all the items kind of requested. Travis and I have been meeting, discussing, kind of looking at the finances, and we will be making, suggestions, recommendations, we want to get input from you, and then in the April board meeting, those items that we approved, we will be bringing those to the board. Okay, some items may get delayed, because we're still kind of in the process of trying to figure out a few other things, but we'll discuss basically the wish list and narrow that down, eliminate some items, and then kind of focus on the main issues, that we would be recommending at the April board meeting.
Okay, the March 27th meeting, you're gonna be having about the elementary.
That's the community forum like we've done in the program.
So I know I've asked this question before, but I'm just double checking. So, and you can help too. So, the classrooms at the high school are cement block, correct? Or am I wrong?
Some of them on the second floor, they're cinder block exterior walls, and then frame and drywall.
Frame and drywall.
Some of them are.
That's what you're talking about with the elementary, or not?
The administrative office area,
No, I'm talking about the classroom.
the classrooms are cinder block, and then, many of the walls are, steel frame with drywall insulation on the
I just think how kids over the years can be pretty brutal to a building, I just wondered.
Yeah, the budget often dictates.
Why not?
We had discussed that.
So that's pretty much the way.
Right.
Most schools, if you go to them there, and the ones that have been designed in the last 10 years, the interior dividing walls between classrooms are often drywall, and it also allows for flexibility down the road. And it also
knock it out.
Yeah, it also allows structurally, you don't need to always have the bearing wall underneath another block wall. If you put a block wall on a block wall, that's typically what you have to do. If you put a drywall wall on a steel floor, then you don't always have to have that bearing wall right underneath.
He said the core was mainly masonry.
Yeah, the hallways will be cinder block, for example, but in between classrooms, they're looking.
Be more likely.
Right.
Okay, that's all I have.
9B, under students and programs, number 1, approve a proposal for the second grade summer reading program focusing on reading to be held May 28th, 2019 through July 22nd, 2019 at the intermediate school. 2 sessions will be offered from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 10:15 to 12:15. The reason why we want to do this, we obviously identify students in K-2 that are at risk in terms of being on grade level with reading. We offer a summer program in 3rd grade, but it's after 3rd grade. So we would like to try to target students that have been identified and offer them opportunities in the summer going into 3rd grade, because they take the state test for the 3rd grade reading guarantee, which they have to pass in October of 3rd grade. So if we can provide some interventions during the summer, sometimes kids take a step backwards, but if we can provide that summertime program, just a couple hours, I think it's a good investment in our students.
Great idea.
That's a great idea. Number 2, approve the 2019-2020 high school registration guide. Number 3, approve the following 2019-20 assessment staggered start schedule for kindergarten. This is what we've done in the past with the staggered start and the assessment, or the number of appointment days where the parents come in, meet with the kindergarten teachers, the students receive assessments, and then the students, we split the grade level in half. Half of them start one day, half of them start the next. and then they all start, then they all come together for the rest of the school year. So we're looking at August 22nd, 23rd, 26th, 27th, 2019 for the assessment appointments for individual students. And then August 28th and 29th would be the staggered start days for kindergarten. And then August 30th would be the first day that they all come together. Okay? And then we got everything.
Any questions for Mr. Hunt? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Motion made by Mr. Millis. Second by Mr. Johnson. Roll call, please.
Mr. Millis,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Bratton,
Yes.
Mr. Abbott.
Yes.
All right, 9C, personnel and employment. Number 1, approve substitute list number 8 for March 2019 as submitted by the Fairfield County ESC. Number 2, approve the following personnel to provide kindergarten screenings May 28, 2019 through May 30th, 2019 at a tutor hourly rate as presented A through J. They will be conducting all the screening. Number 3, approve the following unpaid leave or dock day request for Carol Black on May 9th, 2019 and May 10th, 2019. And B, 2 days for Kate Temple on May 3rd, 2019 and May 6th, 2019. Number 4, approve the FMLA leave request of Tisha Gildy, primary school cook, for up to 60 days of leave effective March 20th, pending received documentation. Agenda item number 5 has been struck from the agenda. Number 6, approve the following classified substitute for the 2018-19 school year. That would be Jessica Edwards as a school nurse and Cammy Julian as a bus and van driver and bus aide. Number 7, approve the following home instructors for the 18-19 school year. That would be Rebecca Kesmerit at 18 hours at $40 per hour, and Lisa Shope, 28 hours at $40 per hour. Number 8, approve Chris DeKay as a detention monitor at the high school for the 18-19 school year. Number 9, approve the following academic supplemental contracts for the 19-20 school year. That would be Andrew Reeser, percussion instructor, Group B, 1 year of experience. And then number 10, approve the following athletic supplemental contracts for the 18-19 school year. Wade Bartholomew for spring weight room, Group B, experience 10, step 10. B, Robin Cottle, varsity assistant tennis, Group F, experience 5. And Carrie Eggleston for assistant middle school track, Group F, step 0. For the 19-20 school year, approve the following athletic supplemental contracts of Wade Bartholomew for the summer weight room, and Mike Miller, or Craig Miller, for the 9th grade volleyball. Number 11, approve and the reason why we need to do the volleyball now is because our volleyball coach will be on the maternity leave, and we need a coach, paid coach, to do the open gyms during the summertime. Okay. Number 11, approve the following athletic department volunteers for the 18-19 school year, pending timely receipt of all verifications and background checks. That would be A through D as presented. Number 12, approve the following volunteers for the 18-19 school year, pending successful background check results. And those will be your Group A volunteers with background checks on file.
Okay. Is there any questions for Mr. Allen? Seeing none, is there a motion? Motion made by Mr. Bratton. Second by Mr. Johnson. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bratton,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Millis,
Yes.
Mr. Abbott.
Yes.
And 9D, contracts and agreements. Approve an agreement with BCBA for a rollover of the current collective bargaining agreement from July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2021. That agreement is saved separately on the cloud. You can see the changes, what it entails. There were a few areas that we needed to clarify that were very outdated, and the practices that were happening, but we needed to kind of explain in detail a little bit more. But it's good to have a 2-year rollover. BCA voted a couple weeks ago to approve that. So we thank them, and we look forward to the agreement we have for the next 2 years.
And we went through, and Matt and I, you guys went through they went through the strike overs with some of that stuff.
The personnel labor management, we didn't even, as Mark bring that up, we met a couple weeks ago, went over all the details of that.
I have no further questions. I reviewed it earlier with Mr. Hahn, and No questions? Is there a
Well,
motion?
they're doing it for, having it go for a couple weeks or a month. I don't know.
Right. So there's no further questions, can I get a motion?
So,
Second. Motion made by Mr. Millis, second by Mr. Bratton. Roll call, please.
Mr. Mellis,
yes.
Mr. Bratton,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Abstain.
Mr. Abbott,
Yes.
I'm waiting for Mr. Webb. Since you took the job off.
Okay, moving on to E, other.
Yeah, I have nothing else to report there. Personnel, resignation, and retirements, we don't have anything, so new business.
Okay, new business, approve the following policies for a first reading, items 1 through 6, as submitted. B, approve the resolution acknowledging the Ohio Schools Facilities Commission school design phase review comments for the K through 5 elementary school project. Any questions? No questions, is there a motion? Motion made by Mr. Johnson. I'll second that. Roll call, please.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Abbott,
Yes.
Mr. Bratton,
Yes.
Mr. Mellis.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to board reports and information. Board of Education liaison updates. Facilities management. I have nothing for you, Mr. Johnson.
You got any ideas on from the weekend? Tell me again.
Yeah, we,
Try to get some-
yeah, I think April 3rd, we have a meeting. Right now, there's a lot of detail work that the architects are doing, working on utilities as well. Great Top, Roger Fields and Associates, who works with Tony Shore. They're working on a lot of those issues. At the planning session, in February, we got to look at a 3D image of the building. We got to look at the aerial, flyover of the building. We got to look at the site plan and the floor plan. Looking really good, but we will, I think we'll be meeting on April 3rd, to do the design committee meeting with them. We have, well, that's at 1 o'clock, we have the, project meeting with Tony.
Okay.
And then, 4:15, we have a design committee meeting that evening.
So you have to.
Yeah, I'll be on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually they, just send a calendar.
Yeah.
Moving on to personnel labor management. Mr. Millis, Mr. Bratton.
I'd just like to thank the superintendent Baker again for giving me two-year role. Just listening to the conversations at the, ESC,
And those very lengthy late night negotiations, they become very costly for the district and legal fees, and so.
and caffeine.
And caffeine, so, we have a pretty good contract, Bill, we have a good contract in place, language is pretty good, it often boils down. The big things with this one was the Supreme Court ruling on the fair share, we had to remove all that, which was the Janus decision, there's no more fair share. So that whole section was removed. The other section of the negotiating agreement was the evaluation section. Ohio has updated their requirements with the teacher's evaluation system. And there's a pilot year that districts can choose to use the pilot year in 1920, but they don't have any resources out. You can also choose not to participate in the pilot year. Those Fairfield County schools are not participating in the pilot year. And in the spring, in the spring of 20, they will have resources available through ODE, guidance documents to help BCEA and the administration and the board work out that evaluation, those evaluation changes. So rather than try to do that now without any clear picture of what will be included, it's just a lot of work and very, we just don't really have a direction to go. So we will, next spring, there was an MOU included in this agreement that we will meet with BCEA, use ODE's guidance documents, and be able to draft a new evaluation system for our certified staff members, for our teachers and unit members. And then that will be put in place during the 2021 school year. So those were the big things with the agreement, and they certainly understood why we wanted to do a rollover rather than not really knowing where to begin with the changes that the state legislature has put in place without guidance from ODE right now.
And MOU is a memorandum of understanding.
Sounds like a fun work. paid off of those.
Yeah, I think BCEA, they saw the benefit of it as well, and, I think we feel good about it.
Great.
The last person they had from OGA wasn't.
Okay, moving on to OSBA representative, Mr. Millis, anything to?
Oh, is there a conference? Oh, no, I meant one.
Nothing further, we're moving on to policy, Mr. Johnson, and
We just went over a couple weeks ago, we got a first reading on this, so probably have another one about 3 months.
I didn't think I need to spend $40 on the superintendent for the old data. And the dinner's like you stand up, get 2 certificates and sit back down. No, really, she's coming in April anyway for something for students, so I think she would kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I saw her there at the ESC.
all right, perfect. Moving on to safety, health, and wellness, there's nothing further.
We'll be meeting, I think, in May, we have a meeting.
Finance, Mr. Bryden, Mr. Johnson.
Travis, any idea when we're on the again?
Probably in advance of going over the May forecast.
Okay.
So probably if we can do it maybe before the May meeting again, whatever's convenient.
I get what we spoke. Pretty good with that.
Yeah.
Okay. We are moving on to B, upcoming PTO booster board of education meetings. March 11th, athletic boosters, which is tonight at 7 p.m. March 12th, music boosters at the high school media center at 6:30. March the 12th, also at the PTO at 2:30 at the BC Middle School Media Center. Board of Education planning session will be 6 p.m. on the 20th. Also, the PTO has a meeting on the 20th at 7 p.m. in the high school cafeteria. Elementary construction community forum will be at 6 p.m. on the 27th. BC Elementary PTO at 6:30 p.m. at BC Primary School on the April the 2nd. Then the next regularly scheduled board meeting is on April the 8th at 6 p.m. at the Middle School Media Center.
Go ahead. I'm thinking about bringing my wife back. Something wrong here.
If there's no further business, is there a motion for adjournment? Motion made by Mr. Johnson, second by Mr. Bratton. Roll call, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Bratton?
Yes.
Mr. Mellis?
Yes.
And Mr. Abbott?
Yes.